Hi guys, it's Sarah from Tough Girl Challenges. The London Marathon is coming up and I thought I would give you some of my top tips. So I have actually run the London Marathon in 2007, 2008, 2009, 2010 and 2011. So I've run the London Marathon 5 times. So hopefully you'll be able to learn from some of the mistakes that I've made. So I'm going to quickly just run through some top tips for you. So now you should be top tip number one. You should now be in taper time. This is the time. Don't go out. Don't do any more running. You've done all the training that you need to do. There is nothing to be gained from going out on a 5 or 6 or 10 mile run. Trust me, you've done the miles. The best thing that you can do for your body now is to let it rest and to let it recover. So enjoy the taper time and just know that you've done enough to get you through. Second thing, do not change anything. You've trained in your trainers, you've trained in your clothes, you've trained with gels, whatever your diet is, stick to what you know. If somebody says, oh, you need to do fat burning now, do not change over a week before the marathon. There is just no point. Stick to the food that you've been eating, stick to the diet and what you've done during training. If you've had gels during training, absolutely fine, continue to have the gels. If you haven't had gels during training, during the marathon, don't start slamming gels down because your body's going to be like, what is this? It's just not used to it. Third thing, write your name across your top. That way, when you're running along, the crowd at London Marathon is absolutely amazing. And there are people which line it from mile 1 all the way through to the 26.2 miles. If you put your name across your top, when you're running along, people will be able to say, go Sarah, or go Sally, or go Chris, go Dave, whatever your name is. And trust me, it's so nice when people actually say your name and it's sort of really personal and you actually end up getting quite emotional, or I certainly did, when people were like, go on Sarah, you can do it. I'm just like, oh, thank you very much. Tip number 4, prepare everything the night before. Be organised, because you do not want to wake up in the morning and be, oh my goodness, I don't have my trainers, where are my socks, oh god, they're still in the dryer. Have everything laid out, know what you're going to wear, plan your route of how you're going to get to the start line. Just know where you need to go, how long it's going to take you. I've heard horror stories before of people, missing trains and trains being delayed, and suddenly they're having to run 3 miles to even get to the start line before the 26.2 miles. Don't let that be you. Get there with plenty of time to spare. There's loads of toilets around there, there's changing facilities, and you can just sort of calm your nerves down once you arrive. Okay, tip number 5. The adrenaline is going to be pumping. You're going to be excited. There's thousands of people around you. It's the day has finally arrived. Everything that you've trained for is here, and you can get very, very excited on the start line. You want to start well, you want to start strong, and loads of people go out too fast at the start, and it's very, very difficult because there's so many people. If you haven't run a big race before, it's very difficult to get into your rhythm. So normally you leave your house, you'll start running, and straight away you'll just get into your pace, get into your rhythm. What can happen at the London Marathon is that you will be surrounded by all types of runners, and you can end up zigzagging in and out trying to find your line, and it's just very, very crowded at the start. So just hold back, just go at your normal pace, but don't accelerate. Don't try and keep up with other people until it starts to thin out a bit, and then you can start running your race. So make sure you just take your time at the start and don't get overwhelmed by everybody else sprinting off. Just run your race that you prepared for. Tip number 6, mental preparation. I'm sure you've been thinking about this for a long time, and you've been visualizing yourself finishing the race, getting that medal around your neck, crossing that line, and that is part and parcel of it. It's about that visualization. The other thing is, if you're getting overwhelmed on the big day and thinking 26.2 miles, how am I going to do this? Break it down. First thing you can think of is it's 1 mile at a time. You just have to do it 26 times. So just start off by thinking it's 1 mile, and that's all you need to do. It's 1 mile at a time, one step at a time, and trust me, the miles will go by, and before you know it, you've done a half marathon, which you should have done in training. You'll get up to 16, 18, 20 miles, which you also should have done in training. And then the final 8 miles, you will get around because of your mental strength and because of how much you want to finish this race. So you will do this. There is no question about it. So just go in, be strong, have belief in yourself, have belief in your training, and you'll be absolutely fine. Now, some people do suffer from like leg cramps when they're running the marathon, especially if it's particularly hot and sometimes if it can be cold. So what I do when I'm running is I actually preload on magnesium. So I take something by BioHealth called extra magnesium, and I actually take 3 of these a night, and these are 125 mg capsules, so 375 I take every night. And that I do that sort of a week before the race, just so it increases the amount of magnesium I've got in my body, which helps me particularly stop me having leg cramps. So that's something worth trying. Make sure you are hydrated. So tip number 8, start drinking now. Don't flush your system out, but make sure that you're nice and hydrated before you even get to the race. And so when you are drinking, as you're running along, you can just take a few sips as and when you need it. If you've drunk water while you're training, fantastic, keep drinking the same amount of water. If you haven't been drinking like the sports drinks, don't start drinking the sports drinks, because again, your body's not going to be used to it. And suddenly when it comes in, your body's either going to be like, how do I deal with this? How do I handle it? And that's when runners can end up getting these shits. So stick to what you know. Number 9. So the weather. The weather is going to be a little bit colder this weekend, or that's what I've heard for the 2016 London Marathon. But luckily for you, I imagine that you've been training in the UK across the horrendous winters. You've been going out when it's been windy, when it's been cold, when it's been raining. You are used to this cold weather. You can cope with the cold. If you really feel it, run with a hat, run with gloves. And another top tip at the start line, before you started to run, is just wear old clothes, throw on a couple of old t-shirts. Some people put a bin bag on, some people put an old hoodie on, and that will just keep you warm at the start line. And then once you start going, you can just start throwing your t-shirts and your hoodies off, etc. And these do actually get collected by charities at the end, so they're not just being wasted, so they will be collected and they will be reused. So it's a great way to get rid of any old clothes that you don't need, but it will keep you warm at the start line. And my final top tip number 10, is enjoy it, have fun. You have all worked so hard to get to this point, and just enjoy it. Look around. London is an incredible city to run through, and the sights that you will see and the support that you'll get, trust me, it is incredible memories that you'll be making. So just try and appreciate it. I know it's very easy to say, but it's one of the reasons that I ended up doing the London Marathon 5 times, because it's just incredible. And so good luck, have an amazing time, and best of luck. I'll speak to you guys soon. If you want more information, come and check out toughgirlchallenges.com, and you can learn more about my different types of running and more top tips and advice. I'll speak to you guys soon. Bye.